Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Steeldive SD1934. This watch is available from watchdives.com for $144. You can use the discount code WR4K to get $10 discount off any watch over $100 on watchdives.com. So firstly, let's look at the box that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the other items one gets with the piece. So the Steeldive SD1934 comes in this black plastic pelican style case. I'll show you the interior. There are two foam panels in each half of the case, and that does a good job of protecting the watch in transit from any damage. This is the owner's instruction manual, clear concise diagrams, and it's also bilingual both in English and Mandarin, so a very useful read because it details the operation of the movement used, which is the Seiko NH35A automatic. This is the plastic guarantee card which comes with the watch, and I'm pleased to report if you purchase this piece from watchdives.com, it's covered by a 2-year international guarantee rather than the standard 12-month guarantee, which is very reassuring. And lastly, this is the Steeldive tag which comes with the watch. So, with regards to the specifications of the piece, this is the Steeldive 1934. The watch is clearly an homage to the Rolex Datejust. Now, although it's listed as having a 39mm case diameter, the actual dimension is 38.6mm, so very close to 39mm. It has a 48mm lug-to-lug measurement, a thickness of 12.4mm, and it has a lug width of 20mm. The oyster style bracelet tapers from 20mm at the lugs down to the flip block clasp, and as you can see, the flip block clasp, which also has 2 button push triggers, is signed to a high standard with Steeldive and also the brand emblem. Very high quality engraving to the clasp, and Steeldive deserve full credit for this because it is a very well executed signed clasp. Now, as always, I'm going to be critical of it only having 3 micro adjustment holes. I would like to see Steeldive upgrade the clasp to a longer clasp and include 4 micro adjustment holes for better fine tuning the length of the bracelet. The flip lock works well, good foam resistance to the 2 button push triggers. However, this is the main negative of the piece: pressed metal stainless steel clasp. In 2021, this is wholly unacceptable regardless of the price point of the piece. It really should be a solid milled stainless steel clasp, and this is something I would really like to see Steeldive improve upon. Good positive click to it, good positive secondary click to it, so it does work, although it is abhorrent when one opens it. Really, it would be far better if it had a solid milled stainless steel clasp interior. With regards to the rest of the specification, flat sapphire crystal with clear AR coating on the underside, and the anti-reflective coating does an excellent job of reducing the glare and the highly reflective nature of the silver baton hands and the silver applied indices. I like the flat sapphire crystal. It has a nice lip which projects above the mirror polished bezel, which is finished to a flawless standard. As you can see, the lip of the sapphire crystal catches the light, very aesthetically pleasing. So I'm pleased that they've used clear AR coating on the underside. It works very well. And we've also got a Cyclops magnifier with 2.5 times magnification. The alignment is correct, and I like the fact it magnifies the date complication to a good standard. As you can see, the 22 is clearly legible with a 2.5 times magnification. So very well executed Cyclops magnifier on the sapphire crystal. With regards to the case finishing, Steeldive deserve full credit because it has flawless mirror polishing to the tops of the lugs, flanks of the case, and also the bezel, as you can see. Very high quality case finishing, bearing in mind that this is a low tier price point piece at only $144. The solid end links are a good tight fit to the case, and also the bracelet is finished to a high standard. Beautiful luster to the 316L grade stainless steel, as you can see. Brush satin finish to the top side, underside, flawless mirror polishing to the flanks. The push pins in the bracelet make resizing it easy, although personally I would prefer to see screw pins at this price point. So I'll show you the case back. Screw down solid stainless steel case back, engraved to high standard with the brand emblem. And again, Steeldive deserve full credit because this quality engraving really is very impressive, bearing in mind the price point of the piece. They've engraved the brand emblem to a very high standard, and around the circumference we've got the specification. Very nicely finished. Solid end links are a good fit to the case and also very well finished. So I really like the quality of the finishing on the head of the piece throughout. It really is very good. The screw down case back provides an effective hermetic seal to 200 meters. So let's look at the crown. Coin edge finish, solid 316L grade stainless steel, signed to a high standard with the Steeldive brand emblem. Let's test the action. Very smooth. It's got firm resistance to it. It requires a lot of torsion to unscrew it. But however, the threading is silky smooth. The screw down crown provides an effective hermetic seal to 200 meters of water resistance. So the Seiko NH35A automatic has a characteristic pop. It pushes the winding stem out of the movement. In the first position, it's the manual wind position, and one can feel the tension in the mainspring gradually building up to its maximum 40 hours. Absolute pleasure to manually wind it. In the first click position, it's the quick set date complication position, and if you look at the date complication, you can see the quick set date works as one would expect. So I like it. The crown action is very good. Putting it out to the second click is the time setting position, and as you can see, nice firm resistance to the baton hands. One can feel the gearing in the NH35A. It feels a solid movement, and I like the resistance. Absolute pleasure to set the time. It has hacking, as you can see. I have now stopped the second hand dead and hacked the movement. Pushing it back in's got a nice positive click, and that restarts the movement. So I'll just test screwing it back down. Immediate thread pickup. Steeldive deserve full credit because this is a very well executed screw down crown which provides an effective hermetic seal to 200 meters of water resistance, which is excellent for a daily wear piece at this price point. So it works very well. The screw down crown on this watch is very good. So I'll give you a wrist shot and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. Now I have sized the bracelet. It comes with a very long bracelet, so I've removed one full link, and as you can see, it now fits my 8-inch wrist to perfection. Now, although it has a pressed metal interior to the 2-button push flip block clasp, the exterior is finished to a good standard, and I like the high quality engraving of the brand emblem and Steeldive on the flip block. So I just would like to see them upgrade the clasp. However, the finishing on the oyster style bracelet is very good. Beautiful luster to the 316L grade stainless steel. So this is 38.6mm in reality, although it is listed as 39, which is acceptable. They've rounded up the 38.6 to 39 because it is very close. This is an ideal piece. If you've got a smaller wrist of 6 to 7 inches, you will find the 38.6mm case to fit you very well. It's a very comfortable piece to wear for long periods of time, such as 8 to 12 hours per day. 159 grams of heft, so it is a heavy piece. For a 38.6mm, I regard circa 150 grams to be the sweet spot for comfort to wear a piece for long periods of time, such as 8 to 12 hours per day, but still give a feeling of wrist presence and quality. So at 159, it really is a heavy piece, but on the bracelet, it is very well balanced because the 20mm lug width perfectly balances the 38.6mm head of the piece. 48mm lug to lug measurement is perfection. I regard it as the sweet spot. It is the perfect lug to lug measurement, regardless of whether you are a collector with a 6 to 7 inch wrist or a 7 to 8 inch wrist respectively. This will fit you to perfection. So the feel good factor is excellent, the comfort level is excellent, and I love the blue Tiffany dial. It adds interest to it. The symmetry of the silver applied indices works very well with the baton hands. Clearly legible dial, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. The Tiffany dial is very nice. Now, this is available in several dial colour options, but of those dial colour options, the Tiffany blue is my personal favourite. I think it works very well with the mirror polished bezel and also the flat sapphire crystal. It's just an absolutely gorgeous dial colour. So they've got the proportions correct. 48mm lug to lug measurement, 20mm lug width, and really at 38.6mm, this is the perfect daily wear piece for a collector with a smaller wrist of 6 to 7 inches. Very good looking piece, also very comfortable. Right, so let's do a Loom test and we'll see how the Loom performs when it's charged up to its absolute maximum. So as always, I'm going to use my 100 UV LED torch to charge it up to its absolute peak. Right, so that's now fully charged, and as you can see, it has not disappointed. This is BGW9 Superluminova, and Steeldive deserve full credit because they could have cut production costs. They could have used C3 Luminova or Blue Luminova, but they haven't. They've used the very best BGW9 Super Luminova. It's glowing brightly on the baton hands and also the applied indices. Good symmetry to the dial, and as you can see, the absence of the 3 o'clock index on the dial is acceptable due to the date complication, and it's clearly legible. I like the baton hands. They've chosen the correct proportion, several layers of BGW9 and also several layers of BGW9 on the applied indices. I really like the symmetry of the applied indices. This is a very functional daily wear piece. So outstanding. It's glowing brightly and it's continuing to glow for a good length of time. So within the low tier at this price point, $144, it's really good to see a brand not cut corners on the Loom, as is often the case with low tier Chinese brands like Pagani Design, for example. So I really think Steeldive deserve full credit for using top grade BGW9 Super Luminova at this price point. Right, so let's discuss the movement used. It uses the Seiko NH35A, which you will all be familiar with. Good, reliable, workhorse, solid movement. It has 24 joules and it runs at 21,600 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 3 Hz. 40-hour power reserve is perfectly acceptable. It has hand binding and hacking, which use for complications. The stated accuracy is -20 to +40 seconds per day, so a rather wide accuracy range. However, I'm pleased to report that this one is very well regulated and it's consistently running at +7 seconds per day, which is very good, bearing in mind the price point of the piece. So I like the choice of the NH35A. Again, Steeldive deserve full credit because they could have used the cost-cutting measure of using a lower grade of movement such as the Miyota 8215, but this does use the NH35A. As you can see, when I pulled out the crown to the time setting position, it hacked the movement, so this does use the NH35A. So I like it, so I think it's the correct choice of movement. Really, +7 seconds per day is perfectly acceptable for a daily wear piece, and it's just a very good, reliable, solid, well-proven workhorse movement. Right, so lastly, I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch should meet 2 criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. So the price point is $134 if you apply the WR4K $10 discount code on watchdives.com. So at $134, I would describe the specification as good. Now, really, one should separate this piece into 2, the head of the piece and the bracelet. BGW9 Super Luminova is strong specification at $134, and we've got clear AR coating on the underside of the sapphire crystal. 200 meters of water resistance with a screw down crown and screw down case back is all very strong specification. So the head of the piece is excellent. However, it's let down by the bracelet simply because it has a pressed metal clasp, which is abhorrent. So I would describe the quality of the bracelet as good, but the quality of the clasp as poor. Therefore, difficult piece to weigh up because we've got an excellent head of the piece and a good quality bracelet but a poor quality clasp. Overall, I would describe the quality as good, but however, I would describe the value as poor for the simple reason that at $134, a pressed metal clasp is wholly unacceptable. If this had a solid milled stainless steel clasp, I would say that the quality is excellent and the value is excellent, because then at $134, the quality and value become excellent. But really, I can't say that. A pressed metal clasp at this price point, $134, is unacceptable. So, something to consider. I think if you wore this piece on a leather strap, NATO strap or rubber strap, it would be a very nice daily wear piece. Alternatively, it would be worth purchasing a solid milled stainless steel clasp from AliExpress. These are inexpensive. They're typically $6. One could upgrade the clasp to a solid milled stainless steel clasp, and that would really enhance the piece. So I'm going to recommend it to you for your consideration, but bear in mind the shortcomings of the pressed metal clasp. Other than that, it's a very good piece. The BGW9 Super Luminova is good. The 2.5 times magnification on the Cyclops magnifier is good. 200 meters, NH35A, clear AR coating. So I really like it. So I think it's a great looking piece. The Tiffany blue dial is beautiful. So I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Steeldive SD1934. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you very much.